Hey guys, if you're new here and you like what I'm putting out, don't forget to hit that big red subscribe button and turn on all notifications so you never miss an upload. So, Power Rangers Unlimited Heir the Darkness. When this was announced, I was really excited because we are getting a spin-off series or an origin story for a fan favorite character in Power Rangers history in a legacy season that everyone remembers. And this one-shot, this spin-off, whatever you want to call it, it delivers, and it's a very interesting spin-off or origin story written by L.L. McKinney, because what they do with this spin-off and tell the story of Karone or Astronema, whatever you want to call her, and how she got that title of the Princess of Darkness is very interesting, because we dive into backstories that I never thought we'd see, or they never did in the TV show. And learning more about the characters and their psyche and how they act and stuff like that is also very interesting with their interactions with the characters around them, because we don't have a lot of characters we see in this comic. It's mostly Astronema, Eclipta, and some other characters that don't really matter because they're kaput at the end of the issue. Slight spoilers in this review, but I really enjoyed this issue because I was excited when it was announced, and I was excited going into it, and I was excited coming out of it, leading into whatever's going to happen next. So, what is the story of Heir to Darkness? What is it about? Well, it's about Astronema or Karone, mostly Karone or Kay that they call her in this comic book, and how she gets the title of Astronema. But what's also really interesting is what I mentioned earlier, and that is the psyche and the mindset of the characters we see interacting with each other, because you see the bond between Eclipta and Astronema in this comic, and how they trained together, how she learned the things they did, how she discovered that her family was killed, and I say that in quotation mark, by Rangers, and how she thinks that she's got a brother out there that may or may not be alive or not. So it fills in the gaps that we learnt about in Power Rangers in Space, and gives us visuals to what we learnt about on the TV show, seeing them in comic book form. And I really do like that, because you actually get to see the struggles that Astronema went through, because you actually got to see how she was raised, and she was trying to impress Eclipta. She was trying to live up to his expectations and stuff like that. And I really enjoyed that about the character, where she was trying to make herself worthy or prove herself to the people that were higher above her. And I just really enjoyed that, because you see that about the character in this comic. Now, the biggest tease we get in this comic, and a lot of people lost their minds about it, and that is at the start of the comic, you see Astronema killing off the Flash Rangers, or the Prism Rangers, whatever you want to call it. And that was a really cool cameo we got in this comic book, because you find out that she's trying to hunt for Zordon, and that is definitely leading into issue 6 of Power Rangers we're going to get next month, because this issue is sort of the timeline. I guess a lot of people are wondering about the timeline. I'm all over this review right now, but that's how it's probably going to go. So the timeline for this comic is pre-Power Rangers in Space. Well, where we are now in the current comic timeline, but it's leading up to Mighty Morphin, Power Rangers issue 5 that we read in March. So that's the time frame of this comic, because it ends with Astronema saying, "We're going to Onyx," and then when we meet her in issue 5, that's where we see her. So this issue is sort of the bridge between those issues. So you definitely want to read this one if you want to see some more Astronema and some more Eclipta and some character development between the two characters. So this is definitely worth checking out. But jumping back into character interactions in this comic, because in the TV show, Eclipta was pretty much a father figure to Astronema, because we learned that he raised her, taught her everything she knew and stuff like that. And in this comic, you do see that. You do see little flashbacks sprinkled throughout this comic when Astronema was training with Eclipta, learning how to use a staff and stuff like that. So I really do like that in this comic. Like, you even get to see when Dark Honda handed off Astronema to Eclipta, and he's like, "You look after her now, teach her everything you know, your problem now," stuff like that. So you actually get to see that in this comic, which I really do dig. But I really do like seeing the mentor figure of Eclipta in this comic, because, like I said, he was a father figure, or viewed as a father figure in the comic, and you see that in this comic where he takes on the mentor role, teaching Karone or Astronema. I don't know what the color of this one, I'm going to jump between the two, but you actually get to see him teaching her like life lessons and teaching her how to get stronger and move forward in life, and I really do like that. I really do like that, seeing that in the character of Ecliptor, being the father figure, being the mentor and stuff like that. But if we're talking about fodder characters and characters that aren't probably going to be remembered moving forward in the Power Ranger comic series, and that is the friends that Astronema knew growing up while training with Ecliptor. So there's these 3 characters, I can't remember their name, I don't even think most of them had names, but they're basically training partners with Astronema back in the early days, and these guys, they're not very memorable, they don't have much of a personality. They're meant to be the characters like, we're best friends, we'll get through this together, and good for you, and stuff like that. And some of them are the bitchy and put the character down kind of type people, but by the end of the comic, they're killed off, and they're basically a plot point for Karone becoming Astronema by letting go of the past and turning on people and stuff like that. It's basically her turn to darkness. You see them killing off these characters brutally, might I add. Really awesome. Really good artwork by Simone Ragazzoni. I really do dig his artwork that we got to see in the Draken New Dawn series, and we get to see it again here. And it really stands out with the lighting and the coloring and stuff like that. So much appreciated. I really do dig the artwork we got in this comic. But those characters I mentioned earlier, those 3 characters that were at the training school back in the day, you get to see them grow with Astronema and stuff like that, where they learn and stuff like that. They're killed off really fast. Like, they're very forgettable characters. They're not the worst thing in this comic, but they're very, very forgettable, and I doubt we'll see them ever again. Maybe they'll somehow show up in the other comics, but I'm pretty sure they're dead. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one-shot comic, this spin-off, whatever you want to call it, because you see someone's transcendence into darkness, and Astronema does have that one moment where she's just basically talking to herself. She's seeing these visions of Andros, and you see Ecliptor in there, and she has that moment where she can reach out to Andros and talk to him and take the path of light. But then she rejects that, saying, I am home, and embraces the darkness. And I really do like that. I really do like that ending when you have that moment when she picks a brand new name, which is Astronema, that you see at the end of this comic. So I really do like that. Like, we have a solid, somewhat origin story for this character, or flashback, whatever you want to call it. But I liked it a lot. And seeing with this Power Rangers Unlimited series we're getting in the future, I'm excited for more. I'm hoping we get some more throughout the year. We've got another one on the way coming out in June, and I really do hope there are more planned later down the line, because if this spin-off series is what we'll be getting instead of graphic novels and stuff like that, I'm totally fine with it. We can focus on different characters here and there, but I get the feeling with this Unlimited series, it's going to be focusing on characters for now that are important to the current story arc we're in right now, because this one ties into the upcoming issue of Power Rangers. But we'll see what happens. I could be totally wrong, but overall I think this was a really good, solid issue, and I enjoyed it quite a fair bit, and I'm excited to see what they'll do next with the next Unlimited book. Anyway guys, that's my review of Power Rangers Unlimited Heir the Darkness. Like I said, I think it was a really good one-shot spin-off, whatever you want to call it, and I'm excited to see what we'll get next and where these characters are going to go from here in the mainline comics. With that said, I think I'm going to wrap this video up now. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and don't forget to turn on notifications. Special thanks to all the members such as Swagger4. If you want to get your name shouted out at the end of a video like Swagger4 over here, become a Zord tier member or higher, where you'll get special perks on the channel such as badges, emojis, and other fun stuff like that. With that said, I'm going to wrap this video up now. Have a wonderful day or night, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, take care, bye!